Hi everybody, this is Paige at Taylor Sewing Quilt Shop in Brockville, Ontario. So I'll just wait a second until I see some of you pop on. There we go. So good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Today we are doing a spotlight on the Janome Quilt Maker Pro 18 Versa. I have Sylvia here with me and we're going to go over, take a look at the machine, look at its features, talk about why you would want to purchase a long arm machine and why this one is a great option for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the comments, and if I don't see them at the time of the recording, we'll go back and take a look. So I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see Sylvia. Okay, Sylvia.
Hello. Welcome. We got this machine in about a month ago and sat in the box for a few days, and then I thought, okay, let's see what we can do. I did put the table together for the most part by myself. I did require two people to set the tabletop into the adjustable legs. The height of this table is adjustable from sitting to standing, so that you can, if you have back issues and need to stand, you can, or to sit. It takes up very small real estate in your room, and that's what we like most about it. If you don't have the 10 to 12 feet that are required for a long arm frame, this is your other option. It comes, as I said, it's got adjustable height capability. It's a nice slick surface, and on the insert, which the previous 18-inch machine did not have, are the stitch regulator monitors. These detect your motion forward and side, and as you speed up or slow down, when you're in regulated mode, it will control the stitch length, so that if you speed up, you'll hear it speed up. You can operate it in manual mode as well. But let's get back to the machine itself. It has 18 inches of workspace, and it will, you will use the same quilting method as you would on your domestic machine. So there's no big learning curve on movement and such. You have lots of room to scrunch up your quilt. If those of you who watched my handling a large quilt video a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, I said I like to scrunch, and in this one you've got lots of room. If you need to, there is available an extension table that can go on the side, or you can get a card table, something that will come to the same height to give you a little more room. Included with the machine is the bobbin winder. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So it's a standalone bobbin winder. It has a variable speed. It can go really, really fast, but it's best to start winding your bobbin at the slower speed. It has a preset tension dial. I do not adjust that at all. My tension adjustment is done in the bobbin case. So when you're filling your bobbin, it has a sensor and it will fill it to the line, that white line that's in there. If you find it's overfilling, this is adjustable to reduce the fill level of your bobbin. And you just have, it's got a very simple to use, a start and stop button, and the thread guides and the tensioner with instructions. There are instructions with each piece. There were instructions to put the table together, instructions for putting in the insert that have the stitch regulator guide sensors on it. And the threading is similar to any machine where you've got thread guides, a tensioner, thread guides, take up lever, and then thread guides down to the needle itself. Now, Paige might want to swing around to the control. It's a small screen, but it's got everything you need.
So when you select your manual mode, you can select the speed, the top speed that the motor will run at when you use the foot control. There's also something that's called a go button. If you press that button, it will start sewing at the speed selected. In regulated mode, you have stitches per inch. So this is presently set at 11. And that's probably as many as you would want to do. You can decrease it to a smaller amount or a larger amount. But when you're doing curves, you want your stitches a little closer together. That's a nice option. Again, it has a go button. And they have a precision mode and a cruise mode. And it's just how you use the foot control or the continuous up and down of the needle that will occur. You have needle position stop for needle down or needle up, and you have the capability of storing the yardage on the bobbin so that you have a low bobbin sensor. But most of us usually sew right to the end, but it's nice to know when you're getting close to the end that you better watch what, where you're going with it. So if, Paige, you want me to do a bit of sewing?
Yeah, let's give her a whirl.
So I'm going to put it back into manual mode.
Okay.
And I tried the 275. That was a nice speed. One other thing I didn't mention, it shows you the tension. On the previous machine, the tension dial had no settings. You just had to turn it and do a few test pieces until you got the tension right. I have already, it's an undermount bobbin, goes under the table, like the other machines. It's not a drop-in, but a front mount bobbin. And you make tension adjustments on the bobbin case for the various weights of thread that you might use. And I think there's available a little logbook that you can get that you can keep track of. Or fill, my tension is this. Can sew, my tension is this for both your bobbin and your upper tension.
Linda Deeks asks, will the machine stop sewing when the bobbin is empty?
I don't know. I haven't run out on this one. I haven't tried this one.
We'll have to try and get back to you, Linda.
Yeah.
We'll try that later.
We'll put in a low bobbin and see what happens.
Good question.
Yes, good question. Mine at home does, or when it thinks it's empty. When it hits the low, the sort of the limit you've set on it, it will stop.
Yeah, so we'll test it out and find out.
Yeah.
Okay, give her a whirl.
Alrighty. I just got to find my foot control here. And so, I don't have any gloves on today.
So this is in just regular mode.
Regular mode.
Sylvia is setting the speed of moving the fabric.
Yeah. So when you're in manual mode, you listen to the speed of your needle up and down, and you move your fabric or your piece accordingly. Because at this speed, if I were to move really quick, you get great long stitches.
Yeah.
If I go too slow, they're really tiny. But there are some things I still do in manual mode because I just get the shape right. I can go nice and slow.
Okay.
So
let's try.
If I go into regulated mode,
yep,
and I'm going to make it 10. Now again, I will use the foot control rather than the go button.
Okay.
Now,
you will hear the regulator.
You'll hear the regulator kick in as I speed up or slow down. Set. I got to move it.
So now it's, the sensors are picking it up.
So I can go fast. Let's do
slow. Can you use it without the foot control?
Yes, you can.
There is a go button, so a play and a pause on the control there.
So this little arrow button, I think this is the one.
So yeah, you don't need to use your foot pedal.
But again, you have to start moving it. If I better take, yeah, I have my foot on the pedal. That must not be it. So that one, that's it.
Okay, now it's into...
I do not have my foot on the foot pedal. As I slow down, it will come to a stop. As I speed up, it will regulate.
So this is great. Like if you're doing your own quilting and maybe you're not that great at getting nice even stitches, that's where the regulation of the stitches is really nice to have. So in this case, you can just concentrate on the actual design that you're trying to quilt and not have to worry about getting those stitches even. Okay. So maybe we could look at the accessories that come with it.
All right, let me just take it out, put it back.
And if anybody has a question, I'm happy to answer.
There we go. Accessories. Aside from the bobbin winder, when you open up your box, you will get a number of different types of thread from Superior Threads. King Tut, which is a nice Egyptian cotton, I believe. Yes, it's Egyptian cotton, sorry.
It's okay.
And then they have their Magnifico Premium, which is again, this one is a 40 weight polyester. Haven't opened that one yet. Superior Thread polyester 40 weight again. And some variegated cotton and So Fine, which is another brand, another product by Superior Threads. We also got one pre-wound M bobbin. That's something I didn't mention in the beginning. The bobbin size is M, whereas most of your domestics are L, so you can load quite a bit more on your bobbin, so you get a little more mileage. And most important is a very fine screw. So let me take the bobbin out. Once you have wound your bobbin and you put it in your bobbin case, you will need to make tension adjustments on it as you change from one weight of thread to another. If you're going to sew with the same thread all the time, no problem, you just set your bobbin case. But it is something that, bobbin tension, something you should check from time to time. Now there is a, am I in the camera there?
Yep.
That is your tension adjustment screw. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. This is the screwdriver. Nice, fine little screwdriver. Don't let your grandchildren pick it up and put it away somewhere where you will never find it. My girlfriend was looking for the her ruler foot and regular foot are quite easy to interchange. And her granddaughter took it off and put it in a drawer.
Oops.
And they were looking and looking. Where did you put it? Where did you put it? So anyway, with the bobbin, it's like the old style bobbin case with the little lever that pinches. So you set it in with the thread coming down clockwise and up into the tensioner. Now, my rule of thumb is if you lie your bobbin in your hand, bobbin case in your hand, and pull your thread, I hope they're seeing this page, okay? And then you pull up on the thread. You should not be able to pull your bobbin case up, but it should start spooling out your thread. And I did that just before Paige started the video, and I checked my tension, and it was perfect. So
nice.
That was something I picked up on in one of my courses that I've taken. Other accessories, it comes loaded with a ruler foot, and you get a second ruler foot that's got an open toe. There are a number of bobbins. You get your bottle of oil, and you would oil the race around the hook motor. You will oil it a little more frequently. It's one that you can do. You do not have to bring the machine in to be oiled. You can do that. Not quite sure what the wrench is for. You get two
Assembly maybe.
two needle packages, and they are size.
These are considered
18.
industrial
Yes,
needles, so
they're
they are a special
yeah.
needle that you
Yeah.
get for the machine.
You cannot use the flat back needles. These are special needles for this machine. And they are a little bit heavier, so you get less skip stitches. You get a few bobbins, brush, Allen key for assembly of the table, Allen key, a couple of Allen keys. And you also get from Superior Threads a book on their different threads, and I'm going to take this home tonight. It's Thread Therapy, and it's all sorts of information about thread. So hopefully it will give us some insight to some of our thread issues. So we'll see what Dr. Bob has to say about threads. This is your power cord for the winder. And one accessory I would suggest people do buy once you've bought your machine, or when you buy your machine, are the quilting hoop set. They're a nice circle, and that it has non-slip coating on the underside, and you slide it in and use the handles. You just have to hold the handles, and because the surface of the table is very slippery, your work will slide nicely, and you don't have to grip so hard or intensely on your work. This will help you slide it around. I have some at home, and I like them. The only time you can't use them is for ruler work. And ruler work you tend to be doing a little bit slower anyway, so.
So Linda Deeks just asked if we have the quilting hoop set in the store. Not yet. I've got them on order, so they will be here. I just checked before we did this, and so I'll let you know the cost and everything after there, Linda.
Yeah.
We can put your name on the first one that comes in, maybe. Two things that we forgot to mention. Because you can adjust the stitch length, you can also adjust it to a basting stitch length.
Yes, there is a set button on the screen that is basting, and you can set it to 1 stitch per inch, 2 stitches per inch. Here, so that's
okay. There it is. Okay.
So
Rhonda asked, "Do you do training?" Absolutely.
yes.
So a couple of things that we do, of course, if you purchase your machine here, is because this is such a large sewing machine, we will come to your home, assist you if you do need to assemble it, because it doesn't take that long. But if you need a hand, it's always good to have an extra pair of hands.
Yes.
And then, like any machine you purchase here, we always provide a lesson and full support following your purchase. So we can sit down with you if we have one in the store. You don't need to bring yours back in. Or in some circumstances, we can go to your home if you're fairly close by and help you get started. One of our ladies here purchased similar machine. She's got the Quilt Maker Pro 16 on a 5-foot frame. So she has a little bit more space in her home, but it's still nice and compact. So it's the same type of machine with all the same features. So that's just another option that you can think about.
Yeah. So if you're in the neighborhood of 5 feet tall, lie down on the floor, and that's how much space that frame will take up. But you need space on both sides of the frame. That's something to remember too when you're working with a machine in a frame.
Yeah.
You have to be able to have room on both sides of the frame as well as at the ends to walk around.
Yeah, and then when you get into the frame options, that's when you will get like the handlebar set. that comes with it, and a few other accessories. The other two things were just the two modes that you can sew in. There's a precision mode. What happens is it's great for if you're quilting with rulers and you come to a stop, the needle will stop.
Yes.
Or you could put it into cruise mode and your needle is cycling up and down continuously.
Until you hit the stop button.
Right. And that's something, if you watch one of the Janome YouTube videos, they say that's a good feature for if you're doing stippling or
filling in
sharp,
the background.
A sharp point. You know, you want to make sure it catches the point of a star.
Yes.
So that's another great feature with this machine. The other thing I'm thinking of is, what reasons do people typically purchase this machine? For example, I mean, maybe you've had your machine for a number of years and you've done a lot of quilts and you're just really frustrated with the space. That's really the number one reason when quilters come into the store and they see the large throat space. It is something to be envious of, because it is nice to sit down and have that freedom to actually focus more on your design than having to go, oh no, I've got to pull my quilt, you know, I'm coming to the end. Long arm services are definitely expensive. And Sylvie and I kind of worked it out in our head. For the price of this machine, you could get about 20 quilts worth if you took them to the long arm. So something to think about. Why not put your money towards your own machine and enjoy the quilting that you can do? I mentioned it earlier. Maybe free motion isn't for everybody. There's a lot of people out there that, you know, struggle with it. I don't do a lot of quilting. I have to say I don't have a lot of free time. But when I do sit down to quilt, I have to kind of get myself in the mode and get myself loosened up and do lots of practice. So the regulated feature on this is amazing, because then you can just kind of quilt away and not have that extra little, sometimes it can be stress of your stitches not looking so great.
And I can't stress enough the importance of your practice. Practice sandwiches. It lets you practice a new form. It lets you check your tension. And you see, I don't know if you can see it, but that's the back. I don't have, and it's a different color, so I don't have my royal blue coming through to the back.
There's another thing. I always try to hide my stitches. I'm matching my thread to my backing because I'm self-conscious about what they look like. Mm-hmm. But it does a beautiful stitch on the back.
Well, I do, for my work, I prefer to use the same color on the back as I do on the front.
Yes.
And that will help you if your tension is
right. Just a little off. You might see a top or bottom thread.
I have to say, I'm impressed with how quiet the stitch regulation, when you're in regulated mode on this machine, it's much quieter than others I have tried. Yeah.
So I'm going to just flip this around so you guys can see me and Sylvie in the background.
Yep.
So thank you guys for watching. Just a few things to mention. When you purchase the machine, of course, we provide you with the education and we will help you get started. Honestly, this machine's actually very user-friendly, easy to get started on. So I don't think you need a lot in that portion. It'd be more about just the maintenance on the machine, what you need to do, what you need to oil, things to check and help keep it clean and running smoothly for you. We do have in-store service and repair. If anything was to happen, we would figure out how to either get to your machine or get your machine in here. So Paul could take a look at it for you. That wouldn't be a problem. And financing. We now offer financing through PayBright. All you've got to do is come in, scan the little QR code, and you'll get an answer as to financing options available to you. So if that's something that interests you, please feel free to come in and ask us about it. And of course, come on in, try it out. There's no obligation, no pressure. if you just are curious and maybe thinking about it sometime down the road, it's here in the store. So please just let us know. We'd be happy to sit down with you and
You'll get me
play a little bit. We don't get to play sometimes, so.
You'll get me to start talking, and I'm talking and I can't shut up.
Well, I can't think of anything else, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to send us a message or an email. Anything goes. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.